Number 8, it looks like the gang's all back. So in the previous story, part 1 and part 2 of that story, it was about Farzala Court and people on the vessel. Now we sort of move on from that story. And the art style completely changes as well. So the illustrators, I think, are different here. Alder, Bruno, and Nalty. This is Aldar, Talabo, and Nalty. So I guess Bruno... You know, we don't talk about Bruno, but I actually like the art style in the next few. So let's take a look. Here we go. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Adventures number 8, back together and away again. Back together and safe on Starlight, Lula, Zine, Farzala, and Court recover from their adventures on the Junk Moon. That was from the previous arc. And now Hutta, what we just read. But a new challenge awaits them in the form of an old friend. Meanwhile, Marcion Rowe encourages Crix's violent obsessions, leading to an attack on none other than Takodana. Anybody remember where Takodana's from? Anybody? Anybody in the back? Comment if you do. Here we go. So the gang's back together, but Marcion Rowe still has his influence on Crix, and apparently months have passed in this story. So we're on Starlight Beacon. This is after the Battle of Valo, which puts it after the Rising Storm. So we've got a lot of things that have happened in between these arcs. So we are just fast forwarding to post-Valo sort of stuff. Introducing Ram Jamaram, who's a tech whiz. First introduced in the book Race to Crash Point Tower, which takes place before the Battle of Valo. That was a good book. I enjoyed it for a young person, but it was cool. Also, Ishner from the previous arc, surprisingly, is here, which is cool. They all welcome each other. Check this out. They're all hugging and things like. They're like, "Hey, welcome! Oh, it's great to see you." But Zine, our pink-haired friend here, is still thinking about Crix. About Crix for sure. Now we transform to the Gaze Electric, which is the Nihil base ship. We've got Marcion Rowe. We've got Crix right here, just for your reference. Crix decides to attack Takodana and the lone old Jedi that lives there. Now, some of you might be thinking, Maz Kanata? Oh, just wait. One of his storm objects to this Takodana attack, and he calls them a coward. Okay. Boom. Right, so one of the storm. Bang. There's a little bit... Skip the line. There's a little bit of a fun comical... they're sort of showing a little bit of comedy here by saying that you can't cook because you burned water before. And he's like, what? I haven't burned water before. So again, it's a little bit of comedy in here. It's not really doing anything to move the story along, but it's just showing that they are great friends. Crix wants to destroy, meanwhile, all the Jedi, but has to prove himself to Rowe. And in order to prove himself to Rowe, I misspoke. Crix decides to attack Takodana and one of the old Jedi there. We then transform to the Jedi Temple, and this old Jedi is just making tea, enjoying life in the morning time in Ayuna, which I guess is more something like this. Yeah, I would say that's the appropriate word for that. Invasion alarm. Oh, bother. And we flip Jedi Temple, Takodana. So we are familiar with Maz's castle, but the Jedi Temple is on the other side of the lake, and let's check this out. Galactic data file of Takodana. We're familiar with this from Episode 7, The Force Awakens, but we never really noticed that there was a Jedi Temple conveniently across the lake. Huh. Guess we'll have to see what happens to this Jedi Temple in just a few moments. So back to Starlight Beacon, the Padawans engage in questions to Masters Katam and Buckets of Blood, and they're all sort of good questions like, what happened to Master Greatstorm? Did he really get turned to dust, aka husked? Is Master Yoda okay? Who's looking for Master Yoda? Can we go look for Master Yoda? Any news from Valo? Do the Nihil have secret weapon that can turn Jedi to dust? How do you burn water? Again, referencing that comical joke from before. So, again, they're Padawans, they're kids. They have all these questions, but these two masters weren't quite ready for that. But they do answer them a little bit. So, Yoda told them not to follow him. Yeah, I'm sorry. They're all sort of good questions. Back to the Jedi Temple. This Master Jedi, his name is Sav, is tearing through the Nihil, jumping from ship to ship, slicing down every single thing in its path. Very nice double-bladed purple lightsabers here. And Crix is absolutely blown away. But how? But how? What do you mean how? She's a Jedi. What are you talking about? Like, remember, he's the one that has no belief in the Force at all. He's a super weird dude, and he's just confused. It's no big deal. Back to Starlight Beacon, they do answer some of the questions. Yoda told them not to follow him. They do confirm that Loden is dead. They have intel on people operating outside of the normal Tempest Runner rules. It's Crix's group. Zine's like, oh, damn, that's my friend that I used to be friends with, but now I'm not friends with. But Zine is sort of content with her decision to be a better person. And then they all end up heading to Takodana to help Sav out anyway. So here we go. Jedi Temple. Maz is sending reinforcements. And there's a Watto creature sighting, so that's really lots of fun right there. I don't know this person's name. I think the name is... Let's see. I don't catch it right now. I didn't write it down. No big deal. Moving on to Dal Harhide. I guess this is some sort of ship in orbit. Crix is super duper mad. He orders all the Nihil to Takodana immediately for their second assault. And that is how this comic ends. Today we destroy the Jedi Temple on Takodana, and we do it using Force. It's number 8 of the High Republic. And